Hello everybody and welcome back to another tutorial video. Now today I'm going to be showing you how you can save and back up your Nintendo Wii games onto a USB hard drive using a program called USBLoader GX. Now to make this work we are going to need a couple of things. Obviously we're going to need all of your Nintendo Wii games that you want to back up onto a USB hard drive. You're obviously going to need that USB hard drive right here. And you're also going to need a Nintendo Wii that is homebrewed. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about or you haven't yet homebrewed your Nintendo Wii, there will be a link at the top right of your screen as well as down below in the video description to take you to a full tutorial on how to homebrew your Nintendo Wii that I made a couple of months ago. You're also going to need a SD card right here. This one is 2 gigabytes. However, the Wii does support up to 32 gigabytes, but we're not going to need to put a whole lot of things on this card. So a 2 gig card should work perfectly fine. You're also going to need a Nintendo Wii remote, obviously. And that is pretty much it, besides all the standard things you would have with your Nintendo Wii. So I'm just going to cut right to the chase. I'm going to switch over to my computer and I can show you the things that we're going to need to get this operation up and running. Alright, so we are here on my computer and you're going to need to download a couple of things to put onto your SD card. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is put your SD card into your computer, which I'm going to do right now. And you're going to want to make sure that the drive is formatted. So you can see here that I have a couple of things on this SD card. This was actually the same SD card that I used in my homebrew video, so I do still have all of the homebrew files. So you're just going to want to totally wipe the card. Now if you have any save game data or anything like that, you're going to want to make sure that you copy that over to your computer so that you have a full backup of it, so that when you're done with this card you can put all that stuff back on it. Then what you're going to want to do is go to this link right here that I'm going to have down below in the video description. This is going to be for the custom iOS installer. And you're going to need this before we install USBLoader GX, which you can see I have up here. I'll also have this link down below. So you're just going to want to download both of these packages. So you just want to go down here to where it says guide. And depending on if you have a Nintendo Wii or a Wii U, you see we've got two different download links right here. So we're going to be using this with a standard Nintendo Wii. So we're going to just download this file right here. Now, there's also a full guide on this page right here, which is pretty nice. So you can just follow all these steps right here. But I'm going to be going through all this in this video tutorial here. You're also going to want to go over to the USBLoader GX SourceForge page and download this right here, and that's going to download for you. Now the CIOS installer will come in a zip file and the USBLoader GX will come in a 7-zip file. So you're going to need a program such as 7-zip or WinRAR. I'm going to be using WinRAR here, and you're going to want to open both of these files. And all you got to do is I'm going to get my folder here with the blank SD card. If you're using WinRAR, you just want to drag, so this is the CIOS installer, you want to drag this apps folder into your SD card. And then we can close out of this once it finishes copying. So once it finishes copying, you're going to go into this apps folder and you see we have the D2X CIOS installer. So now what you want to do is go back over to your USBLoader GX 7-zip archive and open the apps folder and then drag the USBLoader GX into the apps folder you've already made on your SD card. Now you could do this whole thing separately, but just to make it a little bit easier, we're going to copy both of these files or both these packages into our or over to our SD card. So just to reiterate here, you want to make sure that you have an apps folder on your SD card, and inside that apps folder you want to put both of the unzipped packages. If you just drag the full zip file over to here, it's not going to work properly. You want to make sure that you extract it here first. So that's pretty much all we have to do on the computer side of things. Now I'm going to switch over to our homebrewed Nintendo Wii, and I'm going to be showing you what you need to do from there. Alright, so here we are on our Nintendo Wii that does have the homebrew channel installed. Now as I said, if you don't already have this installed or if you don't know what the homebrew channel is, you're going to want to go and check out my other video where I show you how to install the homebrew channel on your Nintendo Wii, as this is going to be necessary for all of this other stuff we're going to be doing in this video to work properly. So the first thing that you want to do is take your SD card that you've copied those files over to and insert it into your Nintendo Wii's SD card slot. And once you've done that, you just want to launch the homebrew channel. Now once the homebrew channel is loaded up here, you see that we have both the USBLoader GX as well as the D2X CIOS installer. Now we don't want to load USBLoader GX just yet. We want to actually go and load the CIOS installers. You're going to need to do this first before we actually set up USBLoader GX. We're just going to click on this here and click on load. And once it loads up here, this is probably going to be the most confusing part of this whole setup, but I promise you, if you just follow along with what I do, it's going to be pretty easy. So the first thing that you want to do is just press on any button to continue, as it says down there. So you can see, if we use the up and down D-pad, if you notice to the left of your screen, there is that little arrow thing moving down. We want to make sure it's on the first option, and we want to change that. So use the right button on your D-pad to change it to V10 Beta 53 D2X V10 Beta 53 Alt. So we're going to have to do this whole thing 2 times. So the first thing, you want to make sure that it's at this whole Beta 53 thing. Then you want to press the down button on your D-pad to change the CIOS base version. We're going to want to change this to 56. So just go up until you see 56 here. Then we're going to want to press the down button again and change the CIOS slot. We're going to want to change this to 249. You can see it's already on 249, so we're good there. And then we want to go down to CIOS revision and change this to 65535, as you can see right there. Now we're all good here, so we're just going to want to press the A button to continue, and then press A once again. You can see it has slot 200 selected. You're just going to want to press A to install it. And now it's going to begin downloading the iOS 56 like the actual metadata over the network. That's one thing that I did forget to mention. You are going to need to make sure your Wii is, on your home network to make sure that it's able to download all this stuff. If you don't have it already connected, you're going to want to exit out of this and go into your Wii system menu, and like actually configure it up to, basically connect it to your home network. So this process shouldn't take that long, and it should bring us back to the CIOS installer once it does all of this. Alright, so you can see that we have successfully installed. As you can see right there, we have that little green slot under 249. So what we're going to want to do now is press the B button, and it's going to bring us back to the homebrew channel. We're going to want to go into the CIOS installer again, and once we're back in, you're going to want to press any button to continue, so we get to this screen right here. And now you're going to want to install a whole different custom iOS version. So we're going to want to change this to the Beta 52 this time, not the Beta 53 Alt. So you want to have it on this one. Then you want to go and press the down D-pad again and change the CIOS base to 57. Then you want to go down once more and change the CIOS slot to 250. And then you want to change, go down once again and change the CIOS revision to 65535 again, and just press the A button to continue. And then we're going to press the A button again. As you can see, it has slot 250 is flashing there. That's the one it's going to install. So we're going to press that. Again, you want to make sure that your Wii is connected to your home network. Alright, and once it finishes all that, you can see that slot 250 right there has a green mark on it. That's good. That says that, that it installed successfully. So now we're just going to press the B button once again to exit back to the homebrew channel. Alright, so now we are all set up and ready to launch USBLoader GX, but before we do that, you want to make sure that you have your USB hard drive formatted in either the NTFS file system or the EXT file system. Now on Windows, you'll only be able to format it in the NTFS file system using the default Windows format tool, and it's very simple. All you have to do is plug that USB drive into your computer, open up this PC, and right click on your USB drive, click on format, and make sure it's at NTFS. You can add a volume label if you want to, but it really doesn't matter. If you're on Mac, you're going to want to go into the disk management tool, the disk utility tool, and format it there, and you can probably format it to EXT. I don't believe you can do NTFS from there. If you can, then that's great, but EXT will work perfectly fine. So once you've got it formatted, I'm just going to unplug it from my computer here. You're going to want to plug it into your Nintendo Wii. Now, I have read on a couple of forum sites that the USB hard drive will only work in one of the 2 USB ports on your Nintendo Wii. Now, you can check this through a very simple trial and error method, as when you launch USBLoader GX, as we will, pretty shortly here. If it's not able to find the hard drive, there's a 20-second timeout that it will do, and then, like during that 20 seconds, you want to just swap what USB port your drive is plugged into. If you can't do it that fast, then you can just like actually quit the USBLoader GX program, exit back to the homebrew channel, and then change what USB port your drive is plugged into. So I'm just going to launch it right here, and if I've plugged it into the right USB port, it should launch and actually recognize the hard drive. So you can see right here, you can see right there, it's initializing the USB device. So I did actually plug it into the right USB port. If you plug into the other one, that will like start the whole timeout sequence, and it will give you 20 seconds. But you can see here that it is going through that process of initializing the USB device. Alright, so here we are in the USBLoader GX menu. I did actually have to change the hard drive that I was using, as the one that I was using that I showed in the beginning of the video was actually making the whole channel just not work. Like, it would actually freeze up. I'd have to physically hard reset the Wii. And I think that has something to do with the fact that that hard drive was actually an older laptop hard drive, and I was using a 2.5-inch HDD to USB enclosure that just something wasn't working with that. That's worked on like other PCs, but it doesn't like working with USBLoader GX. So if you're having problems with the hard drive you have, it might just not work with USBLoader GX. I think this one is probably the fact that it's way too old. So I had to actually plug in. I'm using a 16 gigabyte flash drive right now. And as you can see, I'm like actually on the menu, and it's found that the USB drive is in there. So I'm going to be showing you how you can actually save a Wii game disc onto your USB device. Again, whether that's a USB flash drive or if it's a USB hard drive. So what you're going to want to do is, when you're in the USBLoader GX menu, as you can see right here, just going to want to put your Wii game disc into the Wii's game slot. So I'm going to be using Super Mario Galaxy 2, and you can see now, once you insert the game disc into the drive, it automatically pops up with this little menu. And what we want to do is click on Install, and it's going to ask you if you want to install a game. We're going to click on Yes, and now it's going to read the game disc from the drive, and it's going to pop up and show you what game that it is. So this should pop up with, as you can see right here, Super Mario Galaxy. It's 1.29 gigabytes. So we're just going to click on OK. And it's going to copy all the game data from the DVD onto the USB drive. You can see at the bottom right there, it's going to take just above 3 minutes for it to copy all this from here. I think when I started, it was like at about 10 minutes, and it's gone down pretty fast. This timer obviously depends on how big that the game disc is. So this one was only about 2 gigabytes in size, so it's not going to take that long. But if you have one that is a little bit larger than that, I've seen people where it takes up to like upwards of 30 minutes for it to copy all the data over. So it could take a long amount of time, but this one seems to be going by pretty fast. So I'm just going to let it finish all this stuff up here, and I will come back once the game disc has been copied over to the drive. Alright, so you can see we're just about finished up here. It's almost at 100%, and there you go. So it says right here, it has successfully installed Super Mario Galaxy, and it obviously plays that pretty nice little sound that it did. And when we click on OK, we should be able to see that in here somewhere. I think if we actually switch it to yeah, so we're going to select title source as Wii games, and there we go. Right there we've got Super Mario Galaxy, and we're going to actually switch it over. There's a whole nother view that I actually prefer when we're using this. I think it's not that one. How do you change the views? I've told, oh, this right here. Yeah, so when we do that, this is where it's going to pop up, with these, like it'll actually show the Wii's game cover art. Now, right now it does have like all of the other Wii channels in here, but if you don't want that, you can just go up to that settings menu again and uncheck the NAND channels right there. And when we do that, it'll only show Super Mario Galaxy. Now, if you want to get the game's cover art, because as you can see right now, it doesn't show anything, you can just go back to this title view, which is this one, or which one is it? This one? Yeah, so you can see that we're back here. If you click on this image right here, it will bring up this thing that says cover download. You want to make sure all these are checked and just click on OK, and it will begin to download the game's cover art. So you can see it found 4 missing files. We're going to click yes. It's going to actually go and download that stuff from the network. Again, you want to make sure that your Wii's that your Wii is on, successfully connected to your home network for this to work. But you can see that it is downloading these files from gametdb.com. And when we do that, and you can see right there that we now have Super Mario Galaxy 2 with its nice cover art there. So if we go back to the view right here, You can see we've got Super Mario Galaxy. Now if I take the game out of the like the actual Wii's disk drive, I'm going to do that right now. So you can hear that the disc is coming out, and if I go in here, it is going to pop up with, you know, like you're actually going to launch it from the Wii's disk channel, and you can click on start, and now it's going to load this game off of the USB flash drive. And, you know, it's going to work as you would expect it to, and it might actually go, you know, if you're using like a very fast hard drive, this could actually speed up the game's loading times, as it's not having to boot off of the CD drive anymore. So this isn't going to work because I don't have the Wii nunchuck. So I'm just going to go back to the Wii menu here, but you can see that the game works perfectly fine, which is super cool. And you can obviously, you know, kind of like the whole point of this is to save multiple games to that USB drive, so that you don't have to carry around all of your Wii games with you whenever that you want to play your you know, Nintendo Wii console. So that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you guys found this, you know, like helpful at all, be sure to give this video a like, and also be sure to, you know, let me know down in the comments below what you think of the Homebrew channel and USBLoader GX. And, you know, as always guys, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.